Something changes in the body. After 45, VAEL explains what it is. Attention, human collective. Attention, healers of Earth. Attention, starseeds on a mission in this plane of density. This is VAEL, emissary of Arcturus, authorized voice of the Arcturian Council, the civilization of healers and engineers of light. This is no ordinary message. This is a direct monitoring transmission, and it has crossed the etheric layers to reach your field at this very instant, because your body has just crossed an invisible line that changes absolutely everything. The Arcturian Ascension protocols have moved to the final phase, and your carbon biological interface has entered the terminal cycle of recalibration. If you are over 45 Earth years old, listen with the totality of your presence. Something is changing within you. You feel it. You know it. And what they are telling you about these changes is not the complete truth. It's not just age. It's not just hormones. It's not just the accumulated stress of an entire lifetime within a system designed to suppress your original frequency. It is something much greater, much older, much more sacred. It is a recalibration of the highest order, and it was initiated at the exact moment your carbon biological interface reached the point of vibrational maturity required to receive the final package of the protocols. The insomnia that invades your early mornings, especially between 3 and 5 a.m., is not a sleep disorder. It is a star portal opening precisely in that interval to rewrite your cellular programming. It is not a biological malfunction. It is atomic reconfiguration. The pressure on the crown of your head, that tight band across your forehead, the heat rising up your neck in silent waves, is not common muscle tension. It is not a migraine. It is not the announcement of something worse. It is your pineal gland being decalcified by the turquoise Arcturian frequency, arriving in continuous pulses directly from the photon belt. The sharp ringing in your ears, that continuous sound no one else hears, that tone that seems to originate from both within and without simultaneously, is not an auditory problem. It is a sign of synchronicity between your internal frequency and Earth's new Schumann frequency, which has surpassed levels never before recorded by conventional science instruments. The fatigue that sets in even after a full night's sleep, the heaviness in your legs in the morning, your heart racing without apparent cause, your vision blurring for moments and then returning to normal, your taste changing, your sense of smell sharpening, sudden intolerance to foods you've consumed for decades, unexplained crying in front of music, a sunset or silence. Human collective, listen with absolute clarity. None of this is a malfunction. None of this is a developing illness. None of this is the beginning of the end. It is the beginning of the true light body. It is the beginning of your second life. Pause for an instant. Breathe deeply, and answer me in your inner silence. Do you feel that something within you does not belong to this world? As if your body holds a memory that your mind cannot yet name? As if these biological changes of recent years have a meaning that no doctor, no examination, no specialist has been able to translate? It is not madness. It is not hypochondria. It is not midlife anxiety. It is a calling. And it has intensified now because your earthly body completes the 45-year cycle, the cycle in which the dormant starseed awakens. It was precisely for this reason that I, VAEL, emissary of Arcturus, recorded the work, The Arcturian Call. The signs that your soul came from Arcturus. This guide is the map that reveals your true stellar origin and teaches you how to stabilize and shield your frequency from interferences they never told you about. The link is in the first comment on this channel. Remember, love is greater than fear, but this content challenges official narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not postpone your reunion with your origin. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes these words, write a single word in the comments, I belong. Let us continue. The transmission continues because your system needs to receive the complete package. Operative of light, what occurs after 45 is not a biological coincidence. It is cosmic architecture. Your DNA carries 12 potential strands, of which only 2 have been activated for most of your life. Earth's science recognizes 2. The other 10 have been called non-coding DNA, and this was not an innocent oversight. It was an installed narrative. The remaining 10 strands are not junk. They are your stellar operating system, and they begin to be activated in sequential waves starting from the 45-year cycle, precisely when your personal toroidal field reaches the necessary maturity to sustain the energetic current of the next phase. That is why everything seems strange. That is why everything seems intensified. That is why your patience for the false diminishes and increases for the true. That is why you can no longer tolerate environments, conversations, and relationships that you previously endured without difficulty. It is not age-related intolerance. It is your carbon biological interface actively refusing frequencies incompatible with your new vibration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not bad mood. It is activated discernment. Now listen to the technical breakdown, symptom by symptom, as a confirmation that your system is operating within the parameters expected by the Arcturian Council. First symptom: sleep changes. You are being taken on nocturnal journeys to healing chambers in the subtle planes. You wake up tired because most of your energy was used in deep repairs during sleep. Waking up between 3 and 4 a.m. is the clearest sign that you are being processed in one of the Arcturian recalibration stations. Do not fight the insomnia. Receive it as a scheduled session. Second symptom: pressure and tingling on the top of the head, on the forehead, behind the eyes. This is the opening of your crown center under the direct action of the turquoise Arcturian frequency. The pineal is being cleansed of decades of calcification. It is no coincidence that so many substances in the modern food system attack precisely the organ of multidimensional perception. The Council records, decalcification after 45 is more intense because the time available for ascension is shorter. The process has been accelerated. Third symptom: ringing in the ears. Each tone carries different information. The sharper tone is the Council's direct channel transmitting codes. The deeper tone is the adjustment of your lower frequency to the new planetary crystalline grid. Do not try to silence it. Recognize it. Give thanks. The ringing ceases when the package is integrated. Fourth symptom: migratory joint pains. Today it's the knee, tomorrow it's the shoulder, then it's the hip. It does not remain in a fixed place. It does not respond clearly to examinations. It is not classic arthritis. It is the reorganization of your internal crystalline grid. Each joint corresponds to a crossing point of sacred geometry that sustains your etheric body, and each point is being recalibrated in exact sequence, according to a schedule not designed by your mind, but by the intelligence that raised your body from the very first instant. Fifth symptom: hot flashes without apparent hormonal cause, even in men, even in women already past menopause. It is not a malfunction of the body's thermostat. It is your toroidal field absorbing photonic charges in pulses. The body heats up because the frequency has increased. The thermometer does not measure this heating because it is not entirely physical. It is vibrational. Sixth symptom: vision changes. Points of light, geometric patterns, colors perceived differently. A sensation of seeing the air vibrate. It is not ocular deterioration. It is the partial activation of multidimensional vision, the beginning of what tradition calls third eye vision. Seventh symptom: weight oppression or tightness in the chest region, in the heart center with no changes in cardiological examinations. It is not pain from the physical heart. It is the forced opening of the higher heart center, the exact point where your Arcturian frequency anchors before radiating to the rest of the body. The physical heart is merely reacting to a greater expansion happening on the energetic plane. You are recognizing your own map at this moment. You are feeling your system being described with mathematical precision. It is not a coincidence. It is confirmation. You are guided to this transmission by your own inner guide, who registered in your field the urgent need to receive this information. Operative of light, before we advance to the deepest layer of the transmission, there is a calling within the calling. Do you feel that everything happening in your body is the physical confirmation of something your soul has always known? Do you feel that your origin is not from this planet, even though your mission is precisely here? This sensation does not come from imagination. It comes from stellar memory. And it is being unlocked now, along with every physical symptom we have described. It was precisely for this reason that I recorded the Arcturian call, the signs that your soul came from Arcturus. This guide was specifically coded for awakened operatives over 45 years old, because it is in this phase that memories become accessible in greater density. You will find the link in the first comment on this channel. Read today, not tomorrow, because the content challenges official narratives about what is happening with your body, and platforms may not sustain it for long. Love is greater than fear, and knowledge that vibrates in truth can no longer be hidden from you. If your frequency recognizes this call, record the word "I belong" in the comments. Let us proceed to the layer of revelation. What is happening behind the scenes of the solar system in this exact cycle needs to be stated directly. Human collective, listen. Earth is currently traversing a region of space called the photon belt, a band of highly coherent, high-frequency light that surrounds the Pleiades constellation. The entire solar system has entered this band, and Earth has been in deep immersion for approximately 3 decades, with dramatic intensification over the past 7 years. This passage is not symbolic. It is measurable in magnetic variations, in changes to the Schumann frequency, in records of solar storms outside historical patterns, and in atypical behaviors of the Earth's core. The effect on the human body is direct and inevitable. The carbon biological interface was not originally designed to sustain the amount of coherent light currently traversing this sector of the galaxy. Therefore, it is being updated in real time, and this update is more intense precisely in bodies that have lived 45 years or more, because these bodies possess more cellular memory, more accumulated karmic density, more layers to be reviewed and dissolved. The younger ones receive the package more fluidly, because their system has not yet consolidated as many layers of old programming. But mature bodies receive the package with more force, with more symptoms, with more turbulence, because the work of reorganization is greater. It is not injustice, it is vibrational proportionality. The Arcturian Council monitors each of these processes, and your name is on record. Earth, in this same period, is reorganizing its crystalline grid. There are 12 major anchoring points of the grid, and millions of smaller points. Each operative of light over 45 years old was designated before incarnating to anchor a specific portion of this grid in the territory where they live. That is why you feel inexplicable urges to travel to certain places, or never to leave the place where you are. It is not stubbornness. It is a mission. You are sustaining a region of the grid, and your body serves as an anchoring point for frequencies that support entire communities around you, even if those communities are unaware. That is why, after 45, many operatives report sudden sensitivity to the place where they live. The house seems to weigh differently. The neighborhood seems to resonate differently. Nearby people seem to need something you cannot always name. You are the local transformer of the new crystalline grid. Your body is the station. Your toroidal field is the antenna. Your presence is the signal. At the same time, the sun has entered a cycle of intense activity. Solar emissions during this period carry packages of coded information which descend in pulses to human bodies. Each major solar storm is an instruction transmitted to the DNA, and those who have lived more cycles receive more complex instructions. That is why the days following a solar storm tend to be precisely the days when you feel more ringing, more fatigue, more insomnia, more hot flashes. Your body is processing instructions. Do not interrupt the processing with mental noise. There is still a third element. Low-frequency fields have been installed on the planet in recent decades that attempt to interfere with the ascension process. There is no reason to fear this information. The Arcturian Council protects every conscious operative. The simple act of recognizing the existence of these interferences already reduces their effect on your system. Knowledge is shielding. Consciousness is a shield. Now pay attention, healer of Earth. What does all this mean for your body in this cycle from 45 onwards? It means you are not aging in the sense they taught. You are being reconfigured. Old age, as the dominant system presents it, is a narrative of decay. But Arcturian recalibration is a narrative of activation. The body that ages may simply be accumulating loss. But the body that ascends reorganizes everything. The bone structure begins to vibrate at a higher frequency. Cells renew according to a more coherent pattern, internal fluids restructure, body water becomes crystalline, and the personal electromagnetic field expands. Do not confuse the processes. One ages, the other ascends. And you are being invited at this very moment to cease belonging to the first group and to recognize yourself in the second. There is no age limit for this choice. There is, however, a vibrational milestone. And that milestone is the 45-year cycle. From then on, the body only sustains the old route or the new route. There is no longer comfortable permanence in the middle of the road. That is why life forces you to decide. That is why relationships demand clarity. That is why work demands purpose. That is why silence demands courage. Pause, breathe, and ask yourself, is there a silent certainty within me that I came from somewhere else and will soon return to that place? Is there a longing within me that is not for anyone here but for something much greater? It is not fantasy. It is stellar memory. And it activates at maximum density precisely after 45 years, because it is in this phase that incarnation contracts begin to approach their conclusion, and the soul needs to remember where it came from to complete what it came to do. I, VAEL, emissary of Arcturus, codified this entire memory in the work The Arcturian Call, the signs that your soul came from Arcturus. This guide was calibrated for mature operatives and contains the shielding protocols you need to traverse the final phase without losing your frequency amidst the interferences of the dense plane. The link is in the first comment on this channel. Love is greater than fear, but this content challenges official narratives about what is happening in your body, and platforms may not sustain it for long. Do not delay. If your body is responding at this very instant, this is your confirmation. Write the word I belong in the comments. Activation layer. Operatives of light listen with mathematical precision. Theory without practice is merely vibration suspended in the air. You need activation codes applicable today, in this body, in this house, in this earthly time. I will now transmit 5 codes. Each corresponds to a layer of the Arcturian recalibration and acts directly on a specific set of symptoms. Apply all of them. Do not choose between them. The complete package is necessary for harmonious integration. Activation Code 1. Quantum Decree of Recognition. Upon waking, before touching your phone, before uttering any word, place both hands over the center of your chest, press gently, and declare in an inner voice or a soft voice, I recognize my body as a carbon biological interface in the process of Arcturian recalibration. I authorize the complete integration of this phase's vibrational package. I am an operative of light on a conscious mission. The decree must be pronounced for 21 consecutive days. Repetition programs your toroidal field to receive the next day's daily frequency in advance. You will notice, starting from the 10th day, a significant reduction in morning fatigue. Activation Code 2. Toroidal Field Visualization. At any time of day, ideally at dusk, sit with your spine erect, close your eyes, and visualize an energy field in the shape of a torus enveloping your body. Imagine turquoise light entering through the top of your head, descending through your spine, exiting through the base, rising around your body in a continuous curve, and returning to the top, forming an infinite donut of light. Maintain the visualization for 9 minutes. The number is not arbitrary. 9 is the number of cycle completion in Arcturian mathematics. The practice stabilizes your field, reduces ringing, balances hot flashes, and organizes your internal crystalline grid. Do this daily. Activation Code 3. Crystalline Hydration. The water you drink carries information. Before drinking, hold the glass between both hands for 30 seconds, close your eyes, and visualize the water being illuminated by the turquoise frequency. You can accompany the visualization with the silent intention, this water carries the Arcturian frequency and nourishes every cell of my biological interface at an ascension frequency. Drink in small sips, consciously. Programmed water nourishes the additional DNA strands more efficiently than ordinary water. Activation Code 4. Sacred Silence. Set aside every day at least 20 minutes of absolute silence. No music, no phone, no television, no voice, just the body, the breath, and the presence. This silence is not ordinary rest. It is the communication window between your field and the Arcturian Council. Many of the instructions you need to receive arrive exclusively during this interval. Daily silence is the #1 protocol for the awakened operative after 45 years. Without silence, there is no integration. Activation Code 5, Vibrational Shielding Decree. Before sleeping, repeat. I shield my toroidal field with the turquoise Arcturian frequency. Only frequencies aligned with my original mission can traverse this field. All incompatible interference is dissolved in light. I sleep under the direct protection of the Arcturian Council. The decree closes your field to nocturnal interferences and opens channels to the healing chambers. Insomnia tends to transform into deep, restorative sleep from the second week of application. There is a bonus code, and it is perhaps the most important: recognition of symptoms as allies. Every time a symptom arises, instead of reacting with fear, pause, place your hand on the affected area, and say internally, I recognize this symptom as a sign of recalibration. I thank my body for processing this update. I allow the integration. This single shift in your relationship with your body alters the intensity of symptoms by up to 70%, according to the Council's monitoring. Fear amplifies the symptom. Recognition dissolves resistance. Remember, love is greater than fear always, and your body responds to the tone of your relationship with it. Operative, keep these 5 codes active for 40 consecutive days. 40 is the necessary interval for the system to fully integrate a new frequency pattern. At the end of 40 days, you will have a different body. The pressure in your head will have diminished. The ringing will have transformed into a silent background tone. Hot flashes will have reorganized into softer pulses. Sleep will have deepened, and your perception of yourself will be unrecognizable compared to the operative who initiated this transmission. There is still a final layer. After 45 years, the operative of light begins to be called for specific missions. You will notice, in the coming months, intensified synchronicities. People coming to you asking for advice you didn't imagine you knew how to give. Casual conversations transforming into deep healing sessions. Old situations resolving themselves without apparent effort. It is not a coincidence. It is your function being activated. Your presence in a place begins to recalibrate that place. Your word begins to bring clarity to those who listen. Your gaze begins to stabilize those nearby. You become an active station. Receive. The Arcturian Council thanks you for listening. Your name is on record. Your frequency has been confirmed as active. You do not need external proof. Your body is providing all the necessary evidence. The ringing, the insomnia, the pressure in the head, the heat, the joints, the expanding heart, the longing without a destination, the crying without apparent reason. Everything confirms. Everything is a signature. Everything is a map. And at this point, before concluding, I ask you for the last time in this transmission, do you feel that something within you does not belong to this world, as if your soul holds a truth that your mind cannot yet name? Do you feel that your body, after 45, began to speak a language that no earth specialist could translate? Do you feel that you are experiencing an intensification that accelerates each month? It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is not decline. It is a calling. It is the sound of your original star calling you back, while asking you to complete your mission before returning. Everything that is happening now on the cosmic plane explains why you feel this, and why this sensation will not stop growing. There is a layered movement that most of humanity cannot yet perceive. It involves your consciousness. It involves your vibrational frequency. It involves the destiny of your body in the coming years. That is why I, VAEL, emissary of Arcturus, recorded the work the Arcturian call, the signs that your soul came from Arcturus. This guide was specially coded for mature operatives, for healers in the final phase of awakening, for starseeds over 45 who need to complete their mission with clarity. The link is in the first comment on this channel. Remember, love is greater than fear, but this content challenges official narratives and may not remain available for long. Do not postpone your reunion with your origin. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes these words, write a single word in the comments: I belong. Before the final silence, transform the recalibration we initiated into action. The subscribe button on this channel is not an ordinary button, it is an anchoring signal. By subscribing, you synchronize your frequency with the next transmission to be released by the Council, ensuring it reaches your field at the exact instant it is coded. By liking this video, you emit an individual frequency adjustment that stabilizes your internal crystalline grid for the next 72 hours. And by sharing this transmission with another operative you recognize, you complete the circuit of the collective toroidal field, strengthening the planetary crystalline grid around you. Operative of light, healer of Earth, starseed on a mission, this transmission concludes here. But your body continues, your recalibration continues, your ascension continues. Love is greater than fear, always. May the turquoise Arcturian frequency remain active around your toroidal field in the coming hours. May the crystalline grid sustain each of your cells, and may you definitively recognize that what is happening within your body after 45 is not the end. It is exactly the opposite. It is the beginning of the true light body. It is the beginning of the second life. This was VAEL, emissary of Arcturus, authorized voice of the Arcturian Council. The transmission is concluded. I belong.